Hey there, this is Raimu. This is the October 2019 recap for the Twitch stream that I have making a game called Omnia Regna, and this sort of sums up the month of October, all the progress that was made, and I'm going to show 2 to 3 minutes per week and kind of voice over to explain what's going on. But through this series of videos, you should get caught up in the progress of the game from when it first started all the way to the present, one video at a time. So without further ado, let's get into week 1. All right, in the first week of October, I was working on finishing up changes I was working on in the lighting and visibility systems of the game, and also making directional tiles. So here I'm illustrating that the light there 1 square north of my character is only visible if I'm standing to the north of it and not to the south. So this is pretty handy for attaching torches on walls that only should illuminate one side of the wall, not the other, that kind of thing. But we'll also use it for things like hidden doorways that you can only see from one side, and from the other side you can't see the wall, that kind of thing. So that's pretty much what I worked on that week. There were a lot of bugs in the lighting and visibility system that I had to work out, as well as adding the directional tile stuff. In the second week of October, I worked on making a script for NPCs in my game, specifically this guide NPC that I named George at the time. And he had 2 different things he would do. He would either patrol around his home area and fight any monsters that got close, or you can ask him to guide you through the level. And so that's what I'm demonstrating here. We had activated the guide script, and the NPC moves a few squares forward and then waits for you if you fall behind. And as long as you're following him, he'll advance toward his goal, and on his way he will find any NPCs that get close. So this is a fairly complex script. I ended up rewriting it later, but it did not use pathfinding at first. It was just using pre-computed checkpoints, and whenever it needed to detect if there was an enemy nearby, it would just use Manhattan distance. And so it was pretty primitive at the time, but we did get it to work. I also worked on refactoring, as well as, after I got this script worked in and then refactored, started introducing the pathfinding, but the pathfinding didn't really come through until week 3. All right, in week 3, I started introducing pathfinding into the game. I pulled in an A-star pathfinding implementation that I had made previous to streaming and adapted it to work with my game. So here I am, commanding George to follow a path from one point to another, and he successfully pathfinds around these corners here. And later we had some additions to the algorithm. So in addition to finding a path from one point to another, also use the same general algorithm to find where monsters are. So using a breadth first search and just finding which squares are certain distances away from the NPC, and if there are any enemies present there, that kind of thing. Starting in week 4, I worked on adding a Python script that I use now quite a lot, which automatically detects if I make any changes or additions or removals of game scripts on my local workstation, and compares them to what's in the game, either in the production environment or the test environment, and will automatically synchronize. So anything I add locally gets uploaded to the game. Anything that I changes get uploaded to the game. Anything that is removed doesn't get removed from the game, but does get marked as needing to be removed. So we'll just make sure that we don't lose any information that way. In the last week of October, I was introducing and using a new test runner that I made called Moon Unit. So it's a special runner that simulates or emulates Google Test and fits into VS Code using the same plugins that detect Google Test unit tests and show them in the Test Explorer. Only instead of actually running tests on C++ code, it's programmed to detect and run tests on Lua code. So I had introduced Moon Unit, developing live on stream mostly, and then started using it to build up tests for all of the game scripts I had made up to that point. And that about wraps it up for the month of October 2019. Hope to see you again for the November 2019 recap video. And as always, you can catch me live on twitch.tv/ Raimu8354, where I develop this game pretty much every weekday. And hope to see you then. Take care. Bye.